Pisces, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 20th through the 26th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Pisces this week, let's go ahead and get right into it, starting first with yourself this week. Then we're going to look at your relationships, work, and financial life. So starting with yourself, this is seen by your ruler Jupiter, who is getting very close to the North Node this week. I think they're going to go exact next week. There's a lot to learn about self. I think a lot of what you're learning about too is about the routine or the self-improvement, maybe your work. And this is the area that there are opportunities, not only because your ruler is here and your ruler Jupiter is about seeing those possibilities there and going with the flow and seeing where it takes you, but the North Node's here also. So this is suggesting for about the next couple years, you're going to have a lot of this positive energy to learn more about routine, to learn more about your work, to develop your crafts, your skills, your everyday energy. And in that way, I think there's not only a lot to learn, but that's sort of your life path at the moment. There's a lot of energy that as you balance this area, as you focus on and you're open to learning about it, you'll find that the other areas of life are that much more balanced as well. So that's being emphasized this week because of this very close, what is becoming more of a conjunction again with these two planets. But Jupiter is trining up to Pluto this week, and this will be exact over the weekend. So this is very powerful. This is, in fact, the last of these aspects. It's been going on for about the past 9 months. And so here there's powerful change happening with you this week and as we approach the weekend. So it's great to dive deep within self. I think you're willing to. I think there's a willingness to let go of old things, old patterns, old belief systems, or maybe literally old things. And that's creating more space for you. And I think more of these, it's more willingness to go with the flow again, which is all very natural for you Pisceans, connecting that intuition and acceptance. So very powerful there. And again, it could be positive support, particularly with the work sector. Now, in terms of the relationships, we do have a bit of a challenging energy here this week. Nothing new, though. But in terms of your relationships, being willing to challenge yourself here this week will be important. And that's because Mercury, the ruler of your 7th house, is going over this Grand Cross now in the sky. So the reason it's nothing new is because we just had that new moon 2 weeks ago here, and this has been constructively working on your communication, or your mind, your mental energy, learning, all of that 3rd house stuff. And that's still great for you to challenge yourself with this week because Mercury's there. But I think particularly with the communication with your relationships and anything else that's involving business, partnerships, and interpersonal stuff. And it starts here on Monday with this when Mercury does oppose up to Saturn and squares up to Neptune. So it's important to have balance with relationships, watching any extremes with that. And what I mean by that is if we get too serious with it, it gets too dense with Saturn, it becomes too much on this side of it. But at the same time, if it's too lighthearted, if there's not enough of that responsibility and that willingness to take seriously the communication, take seriously this correspondence or whatever it is, then it goes the other side. And that's what an opposition is. It's about integration. And it's really seeing too that there's an importance of communication. There's also an importance of openness and seeing that there's possibilities, there's the right side of the brain, seeing that there's this larger picture, and being open-minded in many ways can help with that also. So whatever it is, though, with relationships, just keeping everything on that even keel on Monday. Letting go is also important there on some level because the square up to Neptune is suggesting the importance of integrating things like compassion and understanding, which are integrated through letting go and surrendering and detaching from the relationship stuff, at least what's not in your immediate control with the relationship stuff, which is usually the other person or the interaction or whatever it is. But it's not suggesting anything particular as much as it's a personal thing of detachment. And that can be, again, this constructive energy that you're building this week, a healthier formation with your relationships, building them in the long term, this commitment, and all of that as well. Now on Wednesday, Mercury does square up to Jupiter, so again, extra attention on communication I think will be particularly important that day, just in general in your life. But watching any over-under extremes with relationships, again, balance is important, seeing that there are definitely possibilities, but again, they're in the long-term, big picture sense. All right, so that's the relationship side of things. Now in terms of your work, we do have a full moon right at the beginning of the week on Monday in your 10th house of career. All right, so this is an awareness now right at the beginning of the week in terms of your big picture goals, your big picture plans. It could be energy here. And all in all, it's a good time to do a status check of this career area. See what's working, what's not. Continue to work towards what is working, and what isn't working, either let go of or modify and change, and continue to cultivate this, because you're halfway through this whole solar cycle of the 10th house. But in either case, there's awareness. So it's a good time to put energy into that area in that balanced and healthy way. In fact, you could maybe find that quite freeing too, with that full moon trining up to Uranus. Now, in terms of the daily work, we talked about that, which is the North Node and Jupiter. So again, this could be with jobs, it could be with, the everyday sphere, whatever it is. But yeah, great for making change here, stepping into your power. But I think on a fundamental level, working on your personal development and continuing to learn more about things like your craft, which is developing that and working towards that, helping others improve perhaps as well. So that takes us to the financial side, which is Mars. Mars is still retrograde, so it's good to continue to have this malleable and learning open-mindedness when it comes to the finances. Maybe rehash some of these things with Mars retrograde. See what really matters to you in life with Mars in the 8th house when it comes to the finances, things that are beyond the material realm. This is what you're reflecting on here, is what really matters. But it's good to be, bring that extra attention to them, be open to changing new things, trying new things, and, going with the flow in that regard without getting too caught up into any specific outcomes just yet with the finances. But this is all going to shift next week, just so you know. Mars is going to go direct next week, and so there's going to be this shift and this motivation. I think you guys will understand more about what you truly value in life, what really matters, how to have more of this perhaps healthy interdependency, if that's how it's been unfolding for you or whatnot, and really understanding more about what you value. All right, so that's the key areas. And in terms of the overview, I think we've pretty much covered it. Right on Monday, a full moon in the 10th house, and awareness of the big picture stuff in your life, career or otherwise. And great to continue to move forward with that energy. Relationships, an area of, I think, being open to challenge, and again, building things in the long term in a very grounded and practical sense, which will be particularly on Monday and Wednesday with those exact aspects with that. But the work stuff, continuing to move forward. This is what it's all about with your ruler in that 6th house, learning more not only about how to develop your work and seeing opportunities in the everyday sphere, but working on that personal development. Whether it's your health, your diet, your routine regimens, that's where there's so much positive energy, especially this week with that trine from Pluto. All right, so Pisces, have an excellent week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.